Hello everyone, I'm Brazilian, but I live in Switzerland right now in Lucerne. For me, the most beautiful place ever. Thank you so much for being here. What I am going to do now is to talk about three things. One, will be what is no code. The second one is how to get started. And the third one will be a live walkthrough. And I want you to understand that this is just a 2-hour workshop. It's so quickly, right? And I would love for you to be building side by side with me, but that would be too much and too overwhelming. Most of you don't know the tools yet. And what I want from you here is really for you to understand the process, understand the step by step, and see how quick things can go. Okay, I asked you what's your number one goal over the next 6 to 12 months. I'm all about the whole thing too. I want to also generate more income for my business. I am also all the time starting new business, new apps, new little projects. So making and launching products, right? And my goal is also to help others like you that are here with me. I really want it to be something new on your life and that you feel empowered to do. I also asked, what's your number one takeaway from the workshop? The thing that you actually want. Most of you said an app. And I will share a link when we are in the live building and you will be able to see the app live on your phone. You won't be able to edit or so, but you have the same template to do the same on your phone, just for you to have the feeling of, oh my God, this app, we just build it together. Create, learn, and build. And we are going to do all of that. And if you feel that this workshop has helped you, I would really be delighted from a post of you on any social media. I am on LinkedIn, I am on YouTube, I am on X, I'm on Instagram, even though I'm not really using there for business. I want to change that, but you can give me a shout out anywhere you are. Let's start with the no-code step for native apps. I have built so far 17 apps. Together, they are 6,821 users, and 86% of this number are from users on the App Store. So I guess my type of product that I create are more for App Store because they are available in both App Store and Play Store. And this is the number from May 25. I'm talking here just about my apps, my own products, not the ones that I built with customers, not the ones that I mentored founders to do. It's really just about my apps. And the first version of all these apps together, I built in 565 hours. Is that too much time for you? We spend work today 40 hours a week, so it's kind of maybe 16 weeks. You could build 17 products, maybe different ones. You can check these products on these links if you want. So you'll be able to see, and then you talk about them throughout the presentation. I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. Did I say my name is Carla? Oh my God. So I am Carla Fernandes. And my career journey is really filled with everything, right? I started as a graphic designer and I became a web designer. I started to learn how to code because I realized customers did not want to hire a designer. They really wanted to have a website or e-commerce store or something else. And I thought, okay, the only way for me to do that, it's really learning how to code. And then I did. And I learned a bunch of CMS, right? Content management systems. That is like a WordPress, you probably have heard of. Right now we have much more modern ones like Framer, Webflow, but in this time it was just PHP, Python, Zope and Plone, which are still there and a lot of governmental institutions use, and was actually the reason why I moved to Europe. And I became a front-end developer, learned a bunch more of CMSs just for one project or two, like a Drupal, Joomla, Bootstrap, all these names, you know. Then I learned in 2014, I did kind of a update of my skills, and I learned about APIs, Node.js, CSS, jQuery, and yeah, I used it for maybe 2 or 3 projects too. Then I learned in 2016 Jekyll, Gulp, AngularJS, and I'm telling you all these programming languages because in 2020, when I realized that I could build apps without code, I was like, Oh my God, no. Why? Why do I need to learn all these languages? Why every project is with a different language? So I just decided to leave it out. And I am a designer, right? And in 2004 or so, I started being really a design researcher. Like today, we call it UX. And at this time, there were no UX. We were just doing testing, we were doing systems and stuff, but there were no name for that. I did a specialization in about 2016 about UX UI, because that is the current name. And I became a mentor of designers. In 2006, I opened my first and only company, and I have been a solopreneur since. So I am about to turn 20 years old. Ooh, my company at least, right? Like I have a little bit more years. Okay, Catherine say, that's one of my questions. Doesn't have an app to be in the App Store to others to use. Like the tools that we are going to use, you enable you to share your app with your audience, even without going to the App Store and Play Store. They just have to have Bravo Vision. It is really cool, and it's even cooler that you can test that way. I still feel that most of us want to get more users around if you go to the Play Store and App Store. I have asked you, have you tried using no-code tools before? And yes, 13% of you that have answered did, and some are still curious. But I tell you, I don't believe you did not use it. Have you used Excel? That's a no-code tool. Have you used Word? That's also a no-code tool. No-code tools are really any type of tools that you can produce something with that don't really rely on you to create code. Photoshop, Figma, InDesign, Old PageMaker, Canva. All of these are no-code tools. So I am sure 100% of you have used it. But there is a huge number of tools right now. There are things for data, there are things for user interface like Canva for you to create your posts, or Figma or Typeform for you to create forms, Tally. There is Bravo, the tool that we are going to see. And there are a lot of between data and UI and logic. And we are talking about the logic in really no-code terms. For example, a form, if this person answered this question like this, now show this other question or go to that other question. That is a little bit of logic, but it's really no-code. You are not really coding something to make that real, right? And there is a lot more than this, I tell you. Right now with AI, oh my God. Insane. We have so many tools being launched every single day that's really hard to take track, and it's really hard to test all of them, and it's really hard to keep in the same tool too, because you don't know if you're missing out and so on. It's really hard. So the advantage here is for you to think about the tools that are on the market a little more time and that are stable, right? Like there are a lot of products today being built with AI that tomorrow or in a month or so you vanish, and I have seen a bunch of them. But still, I feel that this is a great opportunity. It's an opportunity to you to add stuff with AI, and I saw that most of you really want to create your own apps, right? And that's why I started. Then you also want to offer this as a service to clients. I also do that. I also help you, and I also help customers, sometimes doing the whole product for them because they don't want to learn, sometimes mentoring them because they just need a little push or just the steps like, okay, so let's do this and this and this. And then said, launch faster without hiring developers. I'm all in for that. You know, if you are a designer, you have 70% of it already. You already know the steps and so on. But if you are not even a designer, if you are a non-technical creator, right? You are a digital creator, you can do it. You can learn these tools. They are really simple to use and really easy to execute. And then someone said, like, also to better understand how apps are made. So we are going to tackle this app building in a very different way from development. It will be real no code and you practically look like magic. At least for me, when I saw it, it was magic. In 2011, I wanted to build my first app and I could not learn how to do things on Objective-C fast enough. You know what that means? I actually tried to learn, and in a couple of months, Apple released a new version of the iOS, and everything changed, and I could not even get to the prototype phase. And you saw that I actually learned how to code in several languages, right? Shouldn't be that difficult. Today, it's Swift. I don't know if that's easier or not, but that really kept me, no, I'm not going to try again. So this idea that I had with friends, it was to create an app for knotting scarves. And I spoke with a designer and an illustrator, and she did amazing illustrations of it, of the step-by-step how you knot things. And then the app was simple enough, but it was so hard to implement that I just put everything she made on a folder. And in 2020, almost 10 years later, I did say, you know what? You go back to that product. I am going to try. So that's what I did. And what the combo I used for it was Figma, Bravo Studio, and Airtable. Airtable, it's like a Google spreadsheet on steroids. It's much more cuter. Then you have Figma, which is the design tool of choice right now. It's quite easy to use, but still there is always a little bit friction, right? Like you have to learn the first steps, you have to learn the way on the software, and even the place I am doing these slides of right now that I'm showing you, it's all on Figma. I tell you, even my blueprint of my house when I wanted to decorate when I just moved in, it's also on Figma. And we are going to see Bravo. That is a tool that connects your prototype or your static screens with data, your Airtable data. So you get a place to put them together and say like, make it real. And yes, I saw that most of you have never used Figma, really never used Bravo. Someone tried it once. Also, many of you, half of you, have used Airtable and even also understand about APIs. APIs is an acronym for Application Programming Interface. That means just that there is something in the middle that is a code, but we are not going to code, but it's like a service coded that we call to, or say we ask something, right? So we call to it this place and it goes to the table or to the data you want, check what you want and give it back to you. So the API is just an integration between one place and another. And I have to congratulate you because most of you have used AI, and that's great because right now a lot of the things I don't know, even in Airtable, you can do several types of formulas there or so. I use ChatGPT to tell me like, how do I do this Airtable formula? Before I used to really spend 30, 40, 50 minutes just debugging my own kind of idea of a formula. Right now, it's much easier. There are a lot of things that got easier with AI, and I'm sure you are taking advantage of it. That's amazing. To conclude this part, I am helping digital creators to quickly turn their ideas to fully functional products. And I'm doing that as a team of one. So I am a single person, and I can go from zero to publish product or even to market by myself with no code. And you can do that too. Maybe you need a little bit more patience in the start, but I am sure you can do that. So let's go to the next part, how to get started in 5 steps. Here are the 6 phases of the product. If you create a simple no-code app, it would take 7 to 12 months for you to build that with a developer using code. And using no code, you could take from 4 to 8 weeks. I took 57 hours, but I knew Figma. I did not know Airtable, and I had some, idea of what a table is, data set is, and so on. but it took me 57 hours, which could be a little bit more than a week. But if you spread that out, like, oh, 1 week you do the idea, the other week you do the prototype, then you test, you develop the rest or refine my app, and then publish and go to market on additional places like Product Hunt or even Building Public, you probably can do that in 4 to 8 weeks very easily. Like, even with your 9 to 5 job, that would be easy enough. So Helen said, once we have an app made, if we decide to post it for sale on the App or Play Store, how and when do we update? And that is required if the app is simple and sturdy. So many of the products I created, I just did it once and I put it there and that's it. I kind of forget them there. You can put the price and the sales happen without you do anything. But it depend on the problem that you are trying to solve and how, right? Like, for example, I do have another app that I update every single week and I spend time on it, but I update the content, not the app itself. And sometimes the App Store and Play Store change some rules and you need a new bundle. A bundle is just a file that you transmit to the store. So when you have your no-code app, you require a bundle there, a new bundle that probably takes about 10 minutes. And then you do ask for a new version of the live product you have, and then you can update your app there on the App Store and Play Store. Using Bravo, there is a huge advantage about this because if your app is live and you want to change the colors or things that were published on the Bravo Studio before, for example, maybe you want to do, let's say, a different button that open a view that was already there when you published the bundle you sent. So you can do that and not send any update to the App Store. So if I refresh, it will go live. And on the demo, remind me, because I want to show you like going from 0 to 1 and also changing a little thing on a live app of mine, just for you to see how cool it is. I see here other question from Maurice. Is Bravo Studio and Bravo Vision the same? No. So Bravo Studio is, we go to the browser and we connect the data and the design. And Bravo Vision is the one that's on your phone that you test the app like it would be on the App Store and Play Store. So it will be already working on your hand, but that one thing it will turn into a bundle, like I said, and then you send to the App Store and Play Store. But so they are different things. One works on web and you do all the manipulation of the data, where it goes, and you see this on the live part we are going to do together. So we saw the 6 steps of a product, and now my 5 steps to create an app. It's really like sketch your idea, test your prototype, advance your app. So you add Bravo tags, you add changes on your design, then you refill it with data and transmit to the stores. So these 5 steps, it's a framework that's called START. And you are here to start creating your app. I want to show you a case study of this product I was just telling you about, that I do publish new content every single week. In May, there were 3.6K users. I have here events. It's an app for designers. I have a place for them to connect with each other and say that, okay, I'm open to connect. Then I have an area for experts. So designers can go there and say like, oh, I actually want to grow and to have the same career as Massimo. So what he did learn, what he did study, which books he read, which course he did. And Massimo is here in this area for experts, giving all of these tips, which I find very valuable for junior designers. As I told you, I mentor designers for 6 to 7 years now, and the one thing that were troubling them when they finished their bootcamp was exactly this. What do I do next? How I connect with others? Where do I go? Right? And then you have job boards, and now there is also job posts, and there is an area for resources, filled with resources, tools, books, courses, you name it. And every week I update this app. I also send a newsletter. I created a whole product around it. And it's mainly for fun and also to give back to the community. I am still not monetizing it, but it's a product that I'm really enjoying working with. So the first step here is sketch your idea. If you don't have any ideas, I don't think most of you have that problem. Most of you actually have a lot of ideas. Really think different, like maybe talk with other people on LinkedIn, read more books, right? Randomly surf the web. Like today with AI, you can really go around and see what other people are building. Keep a journal with your ideas. Also, focus on a specific topic or problem you have it yourself. So what was one thing you saw on the App Store and Play Store installed on your phone and did not work like you wanted? Or maybe someone not even created a solution for something you wanted. So think of those. I see Susie saying here that she has too many ideas. And that's a great problem to have, because you can think of all of those ideas and imagine now, which one should I build first? Which one can be an MVP or a minimal viable product that is so small that I can build fast and learn with it? And that's a great problem to have. Sherry says here, she's interested in creating an app that has social aspect where people can make an account, shout with each other, sign up for events. Yes, that app allow you to create an account, create a profile, sign up for events. The events are all outside the app, not inside the app, so they have to do an RSVP outside. And you said also chat with each other. There are solutions for chat too using Bravo Studio. You can do that. And Susie is saying again, like, all I need is to start with is an MVP. I don't have a full-blown product to get started. Exactly. So Catherine says, I have idea, but I also know where I want to start. That's great. That's also a great place to be. And this product, the UX UI Hub, started with these posts. I saw Alex posting a lot of these UX events weekly, and a lot of people cherished it, reposted it, commented on it, and I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. Did nobody did an app just for events? Then I realized, oh, you know what? I speak with Alex. I just sent him a message on LinkedIn and say, like, Alex, I really love your idea. Can I turn this into an app? And we had a 20-minute conversation, and he was like, yes, let's do it. And for my happiness, he was already using Airtable. So it was much simpler process because he kept doing his things the same way he was doing, and I built the app on the side using the same data. The second step is test your prototype. So you have to create your prototype and test it. And you see here these dashed areas. This is how this app started. It was this small. There were 3 screens, and an icon, a loading screen, and a splash screen. And you can start that way too. And we do today something very similar. It will be like a 2-3 screens there on the app already. So for you to see when your app has a reason already, if it's content led, if it's an event app, if it is a personal brand app, if it's a mini course app, you can do all of them. Even a resource library that I also have on this app itself, right? You can do all of them. Then you advance your app. Advance your app is like you create your prototype, you tested it, and then you can add these little snippets between square brackets. Those are called Bravo tags. And each of those tags means something. They will apply to that one layer some behavior. That is actually what makes your app move. So for example, here you have container top bar, and that means that this part here, you stay there. So this menu, it's always there on top. And then there is a status bar dark. This means that when the app's on your phone, the numbers are black. There is a status bar light. And all of these little instructions you learn through Bravo. And you test and iterate. Test on your phone. And we are going to test. I will test it on my phone too. and iterate on your Figma file and on Bravo Studio and on Airtable, all kind of together, a very mixed thing. Then you refill it with real data. So you see here, there is a selection for image featured, and I'm connecting with a database called UX UI Hub on Bravo Studio that comes from Airtable. This is the sign from Airtable here. I have a list there that's called Hot, that you also learn how to do. So these tables come really easily from Airtable, and I want to get the featured. So most of the time I use the same name nomenclature to not be lost. You see that working. You see here, there is just one event here and one event here, and these you loop with your real data. So you don't need to add, oh, maybe I will have 30 events and put 30 events on this list. No. You put one and loop it 30 times with the data you want to loop it with. And you transmit to the stores. This app is on the App Store, on the Google Play Store. And I also built a website to market it, to launch it on Product Hunt and spread the word, right? There is nothing worse than building a product and not having users. And I tell you, this is the problem a lot of entrepreneurs face right now, because they take the cold route and then they take so long to build their product that is either obsolete or people don't want that, and they just realize this later on. So the one thing I can tell you here is start small, do it fast, try to get your users. If this actually gets traction, invest more time on it. And that's actually what I did with this app. I did nothing else besides that one part that was dashed here until I got 1,000 users. And this app had totally another design, had just UX events. And Alan decided he could not keep up building this because he had some other things to do. So I decided, okay, I will take the app for myself and I will start updating it. And since then, I realized, you know what, people are really enjoying it. I have 1,000 users already. So what else would help them and support their goals? So that's why I kept adding things. All of this was not built in a single day or a single month. I don't remember how many hours I have spent on this app in total, but I think it's about 500 or so, but in 3 years, right? So it is really little time every week and one feature at a time, and then getting user feedback. I say I would like my app to accompany my physical product. That's a really great thing for coaches, personal trainers, mental health, to have a program and also show, like I have their course or have a checklist or even content that specific users or specific clients of them need to do or need to use, and then you can keep checking. Totally doable. Guarantee says when we use Bravo or Figma or Airtable, there be an ongoing payments to these platforms. Figma you can use for free until 3 projects, and you can use it for free too if you just use the draft folder. I never built an app on draft folder, so I cannot really assure you if the draft folder works, but you could have 3 apps for free using Figma. Airtable, if your database has then less than 1,000 lines, and I tell you, none of my apps have reached 1,000 lines still, like it really depends on how you create your database. It's also free. If not, I think it's $20 a month, and there are others that have an even bigger capacity. Like you can change to Sano, you can change to Supabase. You can even have your own SQL on your server, so that you don't need to pay a database. It really depends on what exactly you are doing. You can also have a static database on a JSON file that is simply a text file with a certain syntax. And Bravo Studio, for you to publish your app, yes, you have to pay. I also pay, I have a subscription. That's why I offer my customers that practically for free for 3 years. If you want to build an app, you also have to pay App Store, $100 a year and $25 on Google Play once. And if you just use Bravo Vision and never publish your app, you could, in theory, use it for free. So, Taisi, can your app be a subscription-based app? Yes, you can. You have to have a specific plan for subscription. You can have one-time payment. You can have subscription model. You can exactly like you do with a coded app. Alfred Lee, do you create reusable parts like class in Java? That's an amazing question. All the time. If I did this app here and I need to do something similar, I just copy and paste something from Figma. It's already proverized, has the tags and so on. So this is really reusable. And even the app that we are going to build, you'll see I start with the basics of it and we will change it live, but there will be a structure there because you don't need to get to do every time the single thing again. And Bravo also offer a Figma plugin that you can already copy ready-made screens for login, for onboard, for music, that you can just change the design and test on your phone and see if it works or not. Kianti is saying Supabase is very good, but it costs. I think not, which is a lot of data. So it really depends how you put your database together. Like Airtable is 1,000 lines. I have this still running on top of Airtable for free. So it really depends on how you create your database. Elaine is saying, I want a user to enter info and have saved later reference intended a specific niche user. You can do it. You can add data, edit data, delete data, exactly like a normal app. All of it could work. Once you see it live, you have many of your questions answered. Guaranteed, how different is your application development compared to vibe coding using Gemini Pro or other vibe coding applications? Can't remember the names. Yes, you have Lovable, Bolt, and I love all of them. The biggest difference here, it's really that you are not going to code, right? There you are coding by prompting it. It's a web app. Here it's a native app. Here you have really accuracy on the design you wish for your app. You make the rounded corners with these corners, with this shadow, and so on. And you know, probably if you have tried these apps, that you go there and ask for something, they make something very beautiful. And if there is a mistake or so, you will say like, okay, let's go back. Just can you fix this part that doesn't do this and should do that, and then it redoes the whole page. And if you don't know code, you cannot even import that to a GitHub and fix it by yourself, right? So if you are non-technical, really, it's really hard to use AI right now. It's still not ready for non-technical founders. You can play with it, you can spend a lot of time there and even spend a lot of money too with credits with Lovable, Bolt, Windsurf, Cursor, you name it. But if you are doing scripting, for example, like a PHP scripting to get your data and to give the data the way you need, that is much easier and much simpler, right? So it really depends on the skills you have. I want to tell you that I use this process 17 times for myself. The first app took me 77 hours, right? And then I did some updates and it extended to 90 hours. The second app is like the UX UI Hub took me 22 hours to build the first version and I kept iterated. Right now it's like 327 hours throughout the years. And this is like a bit by bit. Then you see here 100 animals that I built once in English and then I thought, oh wow, people really like this. So you do it in Portuguese. You do it in German. You do it in Italian. You do it in Spanish. And I did it in 7 languages. And sometimes I still feel that I should do it in more languages because people actually enjoy that app. And it took me 101 hours to build all of them because I have changed design and other things. I created a product called No Code Class that is a course app that teaches you how to build the same course app. So it is like Inception. It is, masterclass. It's really like masterclass. I even used the very same design just to show that you could build masterclass today using these tools. You actually build Spotify, you could build an Instagram, you could build an Airbnb. It really depends on what you want to add there and how. And you see the amount of time kind of Goals smaller and smaller, and no code class took 81 hours. Carla, why? Because I recorded the course. Actually, I built the app. I recorded the course. I edited the videos. I published the app together with the videos. And I did a live course too, together with it afterwards. So all of that, it's really doing 81 hours. Susie is asking, can you duplicate app number 1 and use as a template for subsequent apps? When I did this, you could not. Now you can. And that's just magical, right? Like you can duplicate the app and then change the data and change the design and just rename as a really new app, which is fantastic. Then I built 150 words on top of my 100 Animals app because some parents just told me, this is so cool, Carla. Actually, I love that my kids are learning. This app actually teaches you how to speak, how to read, how to really diminish a real image to an icon. So it's really easy for cognitive learning. And then I thought, okay, but what's the point of your kid just going to China and calling out his name? It doesn't really help. It's really for toddlers to start to speak and be playful. I'm not super fan of kids with phones, iPads, and so on. But if you have to give something to your kid, it should be educational. So that's my thought, and it's playful, it's colorful. And then I built my first 150 words, which is much more related to what parents were telling me. So here you had words for dressing up, for toys, for vehicles, for food, made much more sense. Some animals too, and body parts, which the kids actually needed to learn. And this is available in one single app in the 7 languages. Then I created No Code Craft. Also, I built this app in public in 21 days, showing how I did it step by step from research, from zero, from the idea to publishing the app on the App Store, Play Store, and launching it on Product Hunt. No Code Sprint is based on these 21 days actions. Maybe you like to join that. Then I made Swiss Lingo, that I am in Switzerland. Here they speak 4 languages. They are all official. So it's German, French, Italian, and Romansh, which 0.5 people speak in the world, and it's kind of dying. Then I thought could be a cultural product, and I just kind of replaced my 150 words with Swiss Lingo, with other languages, and so on. Then I created the last one, Bilingual Kids, and that is flashcards with 2 languages. So for example, you have a kid, your husband is Spanish, you are American, and then your husband is away, the kid is really learning English fast, but is kind of not learning Spanish at all. So you have that app to help your kid to keep it up with the words in Spanish too, and play with it when you are not really around, right? We are going to go for the last part of it. So the key takeaways from this part will be understand the building process. Will you design and prototype a very simple UI in Figma? Will you connect that to Airtable and build it with Bravo Studio? And you will walk away later on. I will send you the Figma file, the Airtable file template for both of them. And you also get the link to the live app we are going to build on your phone if you have installed Bravo Vision already. You told me that the biggest obstacle for you in launching an app, it was really to not know where to start, that you felt that you were not tech savvy, that you had too many ideas, but you really didn't know what to focus on. And was worried also if it was too expensive, and also afraid it wouldn't work. So after you saw the whole process, do you feel this is difficult right now? You create your Figma file, you make your data on a database, and you put it all together on Bravo Studio. I know you have not seen it, and that's why I'm asking, because I am going to ask you this again once we finish with the live part. How do you feel? Is it hard to start?